Welcome to Screen Riot. This week's movie is Coherence, a science fiction film from 2013. This episode will contain major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's available to stream on Amazon Prime, Amazon Plus, or to rent on all the major streaming services. Go check it out and come back to the podcast because this is Screen Riot.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. This is our podcast that we do once a week, every Saturday. So thanks for joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button down below and check out all the links in our description because that gives you access to our website and all of the ways that you can help support the show. So like Eddie said right at the beginning of the show, that we're taking a look at a 2013 science fiction movie called Coherence. It is not rated, actually, but it is a 1 hour and 29-minute movie, and it was directed by James Ward Burkett, which this is his first film, his first feature-length film, from what I could tell. So, Eddie, since this was your pick for a science fiction movie, why don't you give us a brief synopsis of what Coherence is all about?
Okay, so Coherence is essentially a dinner party amongst a couple of couples, friends. You know, you can tell that they've known each other for a long time. And there's a comet that's passing overhead. That's passing, through the like near Earth, and they're during this dinner party. And then while the dinner party is taking place, essentially there's like a blackout, and then the next thing you know, they get weirded out and decide to try and contact the house down the street, and hilarity ensues. Not really hilarity, but I mean, how much cat out of the bag do you want for this right now?
That's a good teaser for that, because this movie is kind of hard to explain. I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a
Especially
degree
towards
in quantum physics.
Yeah, I was expecting somebody to whip out that degree during this film. They're like, look here, I've got degrees.
I mean, they almost do. I mean, Hugh basically says,
That's
my
true.
brother has a degree in quantum
Oh, yeah.
physics or
He,
whatever.
he told me to call him immediately, like he knew this was going to happen.
Well, so talking about that in particular, there's some weird stuff like that takes place with that scene in particular. That I whenever we get to that, whenever we start talking about that scene, I kind of want to talk about how that Hugh and that Amir are obviously more intelligent than the rest of the party.
Okay. Well,
So
Yeah.
well, one of the things that I just have to get out of the way is
sure.
the first half of the movie. The camera work to me is just absolutely horrible. I
Yeah.
cannot stand it. It almost makes me want to vomit.
I agree.
It's shaky.
I was like,
not just
okay.
not just that.
Yeah.
Not just that. It's out of focus, shaky,
Yeah.
Dutched. It's canted a lot. It's
The lighting's bad.
yeah.
The camera work is absolutely terrible. I actually put a note in my notes saying take Dramamine before you watch this.
Oh, yeah. Especially during the first half, because, that first half was like, hey, how can we make it a conversation that's boring as hell into an exciting action movie?
Yeah,
Let's move the camera around and not put it on sticks whatsoever.
yeah, and some of the conversations that are going on to make this interesting is the
Yeah. Don't this
Yeah.
conversation. Can we get to the movie part of it? Can we talk more about the comet? Because I think they try to go back to the comet every once in a while. Hey, look. Right.
yeah. Well, it's interesting.
Something
go
I
ahead,
did
John.
find out about this film is that most of it wasn't scripted.
Right, that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it was done off
Yeah,
of like the director
that makes sense.
had a treatment, and he's like, make up the movie as we go. Let's just improv it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading a little bit more
Ugh.
about that, John. I did find
Okay.
it interesting the way they did this. So it was written by the director, and it was co-written by the guy who plays Amir, right?
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
and what they did, which is kind of interesting, is they only gave the actors like little snippets on each day. Like, this is your goal today. You are trying to do this. And then everything is improv from that point. And then Amir, the reason he's in the movie is because he knows the overarching story, which the actors didn't know. So he knew the overarching story to basically go, hey, we're getting really off topic. Let me move the conversation back to on story.
So hey, about the comet.
About
Yeah,
that
so
comet,
that's
yeah.
why exactly, Kyle. That's why he goes, wait, that comet is still out there, or
Yeah.
whatever he says. Exactly.
That's actually like a meteor.
I mean, it's not functioning. It's not down.
That would be a big news story.
Comet. Comet.
The comet in the tower.
Comet.
Wheeler's comet.
Yes. Thank you.
Comments.
Or the
I read something this morning about a comet in the 1930s. It was in Finland.
That's such an Amir
I
thing
don't
to do.
Oh God. Yeah, when they're
So-
talking about Amir and his girlfriend, and that's such an Amir thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'll say this: I definitely agree with you about the cinematography being very, very shaky. But I don't mind the conversations as much as I'm gonna say this: I dislike the conversations as much as I dislike the characters themselves. Like, I don't like the drug pusher friend. I
Oh,
can't stand
God,
her.
didn't stand her
Hughes'
either, yeah.
wife.
Oh, yeah.
She's so
Beth.
fucking annoying. Like, I was like, please let her die in this movie. But I don't dislike the actress. I actually am kind of proud of the actress because I really dislike her. Like, she's somebody that I'm like, oh man, I would do anything to just feed you that broken glass that ended up on the table. Like, she's just not she's not a likable person at all. But she's not supposed to be likable. From what
Are you
I can
talking
tell,
about
she's
the,
supposed to be annoying.
Are you talking about the
Talking
white
about
hair
Beth.
lady?
The white haired
Yeah.
lady, yeah, Beth. Yep, yeah,
Yeah,
the one
Beth.
who's like, and ketamine, just a little, just a whisper of ketamine, a breath of ketamine.
Then Hugh explains, he's like, we would all have to like drink this whole bottle to hallucinate. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that was
He was
later. That's
defending
after
his
they-
wife.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's later. That's after, like, whenever she's first introducing it, like the first, I don't know, 5 minutes of the movie or something. When she's first introducing it, she's like, it's all natural. It's echinacea. It's chamomile. It's just a breath of ketamine. It's like, fuck. Like,
I'll say this.
It's echinacea and passion flower, little valerian and ketamine.
Those conversations were so stale to me
Yes.
that
Really?
20 minutes in, I fell asleep. I was like, and I woke
I did
up,
pause at around
I
20
woke-
minutes. I'm like, what are they talking
I know,
about?
I'm like, what
are they doing?
And this might just be my old man coming out, but I have
quite
problems.
possible.
I have problems hearing multiple conversations and understanding what in the hell is
Oh.
going on. Right.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm hearing you hear the same. It's a conversation amongst 6 people, but you're getting all this
Yeah.
information thrown at you from different people, and it's like, okay, I'm on a roller coaster of listening, and
See,
it wears me
yeah.
out.
And see, what's funny about this movie is, Kyle, a lot of the movies that you and I disagree on, that we,
Yeah.
like Brooklyn as an example, right?
Sure.
I didn't care for Brooklyn very much, but one of my favorite parts from Brooklyn were the dinner scenes where they were sitting down and they're all sitting with
Yeah.
Their
with
family.
the lady of the house, etc.
Yeah.
No, the woman she's staying with when
Yeah.
they're having
Oh,
those dinner parties.
yeah,
I liked how the characters were able to interact in those scenes, particularly, and kind of give us a taste of who they were. I like dinner party movies apparently because this one, what I like about it is that you get a sense of who these people are, and
Sure.
to me you get a real sense of the relationships that they're all built upon, like Em and her guy, I can't remember his name for shit, the one in the leather jacket that used to bang
Kevin.
Amir's girlfriend. I don't know. To me, it's interesting how, I mean, he's slept with 2 ladies at this party, and when they say tell us an interesting story, he goes right for the story with the ex-girlfriend, and I was like, oh my god, like, you're not just a jerk, like, who lets his ex-girlfriend come to the party. Like, you could have easily told Amir, dude, not cool. But instead, he takes it one step further and sort of rubs their relationship in M's face, which I thought was.
if
I don't
the
know, that
dinner
tells me a
scene,
lot.
yeah, if the dinner scene had some structure to it, like not necessarily. I mean, I'm okay with improv in movies. Sometimes it works. I mean, sometimes it doesn't. But if they would have just put the camera on some sticks and frame shots, I think it
agree
would have
with
been a
you.
lot better.
Yeah,
I
I
you
agree
know,
with
with,
you. I'm
with
not-
the
I'm not even
whole
arguing
with the
that.
whole action scenes, I'm like, what are we doing? Like Jason Bourne over here? Like, why are we shaking the camera so much and racking like in weird fashions? Like, I don't understand this.
Well, once the movie starts rolling and the metaverse piece starts, I think the rack focus and all that is done on purpose, like
Yes.
definite purpose to give us a sense of like being disoriented and
Right.
being having that like tense feeling, because I mean it, like John said, it, you need a Dramamine to watch it. It physically kind of makes you ill, and I think that's what they're going through.
Well,
So
yeah,
I
if
don't know.
you think,
Once
if you
that
think
starts, I
about
think
it,
it's on
though,
purpose.
if you think about it, it would have made more sense at the beginning than, if that's the case, it made more
Yeah.
sense at the beginning than to have all your shots on sticks and nice and still
Right.
and very very film-esque, like you're watching this nice film, and then whenever shit starts hitting the fan,
Yeah.
things start
Yeah.
going crazy, then you come off the sticks and you start doing that kind of stuff.
Because it actually really
yeah.
did fit in the second half of the
Yes.
movie, having it handheld and having it a little
Yeah.
bit more disoriented and racking the focus and all that kind of stuff, just because everything is going to hell in a handbasket.
But also
I
notice, like,
complete-
it was doing that in the
completely
second
agree.
half, but it was way toned down too
Yes, it was.
than
Yeah.
what it was in the first half.
I thought I was just getting used to it. Like,
No,
I
it's
was like,
it's
okay,
definitely toned down for sure.
I'm
thought
on
it
this.
was the
I'm on this
breath of
rocking
ketamine.
ship. I've already thrown up.
Yeah, which I like the second half of this movie a lot better than the first half.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
there was one point, and I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but there was one point where I just happened to pause it, and it was like almost exactly in the middle of the movie, and that was the scene that it paused at, was the scene where they were going over to investigate the house. So like when they go through the the dark patch where it flips them, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. If that's done on purpose, that's a neat filmmaker trick then, that they put that right in the middle of the two halves of the story of when they flip
Right.
over to the other bad guys or whatever you want to call them.
So okay, so it was Lee's house, right? I guess one of the programmers at Skype.
Yeah, it was Mike and Lee's house.
Okay, and she's this head person at Skype apparently. But what I thought was really strange was when the power first went out. They're like, oh, well, we need to light these candles. We need to light these candles. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, light these candles. Or here, where's the flashlight? And then they're like, oh, well, there's this house down the street that has its lights on. I wonder why. That's so strange. I'm like, whole home generator. Like,
Yeah.
duh.
Well, they
Okay.
said that.
And
Well,
then
They
that-
said
that
maybe
he
it's a
probably has
generator.
Yeah.
well, not at the very beginning, because they were
No, I
just
mean, like-
aloof about why this house had power. They're like, oh my gosh, well, that is so strange. But then, what I thought was strange was they didn't think about turning on their generator.
No, and I agree with you on that. I think that's supposed to tell us that Mike is a fuck up. Like, to me, Mike's a fuck
Oh.
up. Mike is an idiot. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. He's an actor, asshole, idiot. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how else to describe him. He
Well,
basically. Go ahead, John.
There is one point where he does say it's probably a generator, and then later on in the film, there's a loud bang, and you hear dialogue saying, "Oh, the generator! Oh, it's the generator!"
Well, yeah,
Right,
that
so-
that was after they turned it on.
Well, see, I took that as they're at a different house. We're at a different house now, or we're conversing with a different Mike, a different group of people. Whereas
Very
Mike
possible.
Mike in the original reality didn't buy a home generator.
Did Hugh
Mike in
and
the Mike in
Amir?
the other reality did buy a home generator, and it just went out. It just went on the fritz for a second. That's how I took it.
Did Hugh and Amir leave before they turned the generator on?
Yes.
I think
They did.
Maybe.
Because they were still
I don't
under
know.
candlelight. Because they were going to go check to see, because the house that had lights on, they're like, oh, well, you need to go check to see what the house with lights on, to see if they have a landline to go make a phone call. So
Yeah, but I
their
couldn't-
power was still out.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if they did that before Mike turned the generator on or not.
That was the whole point that was the whole reason why he was wanting, or why Hugh was wanting to go to that other house, is because it had its lights on, so he thought the phone worked.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I don't have any brothers or sisters, but I don't think I would. If I did, I don't think I would like them or care about them enough to walk in the dark to a stranger's house to call them and say, "Hey, something weird's happening." I just don't. I don't. I mean,
Hold on, John. But you have to look at why Hugh is thinking about that. Like, if your brother, if Kyle, let's just use Kyle. If Kyle was to say to you today, "Hey, John, next Saturday when the comet is past, there's gonna be a launch. SpaceX is making a launch. Okay, when that launch takes place, if for some just weird reason, okay, something strange were to happen, like I don't know, it doesn't matter what it is, something strange happens, John, I need you to just shoot me a call. Just shoot me a call. That's it, right? I need you to get a hold of me. And then you're like, yeah, fucking nothing's gonna happen. Kyle, you're nuts. It's SpaceX launch. There's nothing weird that's gonna happen. And then you get to Saturday, and there's a fucking blackout, and the whole city is blacked out except for this one house that's like 100 yards away or whatever. And you think back to yourself, you know what's weird is that Kyle mentioned something weird might happen tonight.
And
Maybe I should fucking call him. Like,
I also,
So what'd you call him,
I
John?
also sent a book.
bullshit.
I also sent a book that explained everything in the movie as well to him.
Thank
No,
God
no.
I left this book in your car.
No, but that's the thing. That's what's weird is that his brother seems to almost know that something fucking wonky could take place and is giving them like clues. I don't know. The brother thing was weird. Like,
But
I don't
let's
know
be
what the
real.
brother
I would
thing was
just
about.
tell John and be like, hey, if the power goes out, shit's gonna get weird. So just stay in the house. Don't call me. Just stay where you are and just let it go and go to sleep.
My first
drink
question would
drink
be-
your ass to sleep.
My first question would be why in the hell is SpaceX hiring you? That's my
Well, hold on.
that's my-
But hold on, Kyle.
Like, dude, I love
Kyle,
you.
but think about it. But Kyle, think about it too. If you told him that and then nothing weird happened, now John's gonna come back and be like, "What the hell were you talking about the other way? Why are you so weird? Like you're nuts."
Spacecraft blew
what
up,
was
that's all
supposed
it
to
is.
happen? I'm just saying, what was supposed to
I
happen?
can't tell you. I'd have to kill you. CIA shit. You know.
Now,
So
here's
let
something-
me go ahead, John.
Here's something that I have, and it's not just this movie. I always have this question in movies where you're in a house or a business and there's a blackout. I don't think between the four of us in our households combined, we have as many candles as
Oh, I
this
do.
one house. I mean,
I do.
I have a lot of candles in my house, but they have enough
Yeah.
to light up the dining room, the kitchen.
I have a whole
So-
chest full of
bathrooms.
candles.
So John, let me say two things to that. One, we don't have issues whenever the Ghostbusters go down into the sewers and we're still able to see them. Just gonna say that, John. And two, we're also not 40-year-old. I'm just saying, and we're also not like 45-year-old or 50-year-old or however old these people are supposed to be weirdos who do ketamine just fucking for the fun of it.
No, it's just
I
a
have a feeling
smidgen
that
of ketamine.
Lee's
small
sitting at
drop,
home
it's
right
fine.
now. Lee's sitting at home right now, rubbing a crystal, praying to whatever god she imagines to try and make her husband well and make him stop drinking. Like that. These are
On
these
Skype.
types of people. Yeah, these are these types of people, like little weirdos over there. Lots
And
of
you know
candles.
what? You know what's funny is like whenever they're like, "Oh, somebody's outside. Where's the bat?" I'm like, "Oh, great. Now they're all dead. Nobody's got a gun in this house." I'm like,
Of course not. It's California.
California, man.
It's California.
Come on.
And
It's
John,
like
I will say
everybody
this.
in that house is gonna die because they don't have a gun.
Don't assume that my wife hasn't overbought candles. By the way, we probably have a solid 60 candles in this house.
No, I was just trying to make a point, gentlemen. I wasn't dissing your wives in the candle buying.
No, I'm just laughing.
We have a lot of
I just think
candles
it's funny.
too. But I mean, I just
But
don't,
no,
there's
but
just
from-
candles like and it was immediate too. It's like
It's like they all knew where the candles were.
Blackout. Okay, everybody. Now we have a table full of candles. Let's have a séance. It's crazy.
If it was
They're
my
like,
house,
I
it'd be a
can't see-
table full of,
yeah.
of flashlights. Yeah.
I can't see anything. I can't see anything. Oh wait, I am in immediate reach of a candle. Oh, so am I. Oh, weird. So am I.
Oh, and I just so happen to have these three
Oh,
boxes
man.
of glow sticks.
Oh yeah,
They were
they're
having
all
a
in
dinner
random
party.
colors.
So let's talk about something I like that
Now,
this movie
of course,
does. Go ahead.
The ketamine and with the ketamine and all that, I can understand the glow sticks. You know, they're going to the rave and they're doing the whole glow stick things. Yeah, I get that.
I
So
should have
one
brought
thing I
out my
like
glow
that this
sticks.
movie does. One thing I like that this movie does is that it suckers you into thinking that it's just the two houses,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? It's just the two houses. And
Red
then as
versus
it
blue.
progresses along, and then as it progresses along, you start to realize that, oh wait, shit, there's actually more than two houses, and you figure it out with the characters. I like that. I like
Yes.
the way that they uncover
was
that,
really
it's
nice.
not just that it's not just the two. It's not just four. In fact, when Hugh does the math on his not broken phone, and it's 5 million 36,804 or whatever number. I was like, holy shit.
Well, and
That's
there's
interesting.
that. There's just that right there. That ticks me off, because if there's 5 million and something, and I mean, and the reality is, if we're taking this science to the actual letter, every little thing, if everything that can't happen will happen, and is happening at the same, right? So I mean, every little tweak could be different. Just one little thing. Like I in this reality, I bought a crystal vase, and the other reality, it's not a crystal vase, it's a plastic vase. That kind of thing. So all of these millions and billions and trillions of realities, all of them they came across, they were in the same clothes.
Yeah, true. that is true.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good point.
Of over 5 million different parallel universes, they're all wearing the same clothes.
All wearing the same damn clothes.
Coincidence? Conspiracy theory.
They're all the
going on
same
here.
people, so they have all the same wardrobe.
True.
I don't know.
It's better on the budget, John.
That's not the science. The science is wrong.
I'm gonna go with it's better on the budget, but I also think it makes for a better movie. Because if Mike had walked in,
It would be
and
confusing.
was wearing a,
It would.
well,
No,
I
I
mean, had he
totally get
walked
that.
in and was wearing a different shirt, it would actually fuck up the mystery of the movie.
But even
'Cause
if,
you'd be like,
even if
well,
it's
that's not
something
Mike.
subtle, even if it's something subtle, like they tried to do it with the glow sticks, and I didn't
Yeah.
catch it at first. I didn't catch the whole glow stick thing. I mean, obviously, whenever they first see the other group across the street, and they're in red with, they have red and they have blue. But I didn't notice whenever what was it, Hugh and
Amir.
Amir, they go whenever they decide they're going to leave again.
Yeah.
They have red glow sticks and everybody else has blue, right?
Well,
I
and see,
didn't-
that's
I
where I
didn't see
thought
that
it
at
was
first.
I thought that was like a flashback of them getting the original box
Oh, gotcha.
somehow. Because they're like, oh, we need to get the box. We need to get the box or whatever, and I'm like, oh, wait, is this when they first went over to the house that had power?
Right.
But
I was thinking, because I'm thinking, okay, yeah, the glow. They tried to do it with the glow sticks, but they could have done it more subtly, like different pair of earrings, different scarf. Something that you would notice, but you'd be like, it really doesn't matter. Not something like, oh, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt now.
Or he had a scarf when he left, and then he didn't have the scarf when he came back. That
I hear
kind
you.
of thing.
I hear you. Well, they could have easily done that with Kevin because he kept wearing the Afghani scarf or whatever. But I'll say the shamarg, I think it's called. But with her ring, I kind of think that's what they were attempting to do, is to kind of do the subtle thing, not so much to show that the ring was there or not there, but to show that Kevin, to Kevin, certain Kevins, it had no meaning whatsoever, and then other Kevins understood what the ring meant. I thought that was, I don't know, I like the little touches like that. But speaking of the glow sticks, John, like you were talking about, what I thought was kind of cool was that they introduced us to the 3 colors of glow sticks first, which makes you go, okay, so so we thought there were just 2 houses. Well, now there's probably 3 because we have red, blue, and green, right? And then then they bring in the dice, and whenever they uncover the whole, what's the number on the back of the picture is, and the number is, the rolling of the 1 die to see, what number you're going to put on the back, and then he's doing the math. I don't know. I just like the way that they uncover that. Like, to me, it doesn't feel like it's expected. You know what I mean? Like, it could easily have just been 3 houses or 2 houses, and it's like this war, and they've got them in a very boring way. There's 2 houses, and this one dinner party is all we're going to stay with, and they're very stressed out. End of movie, credits. And it would have been a fucking boring movie, and I would not put it up. But the way that they uncover it, I like how they expand that universe. Literally, the universe is. I like how they expand it in a pretty short amount of time. It's 80. What is it? It's 87 minutes. This movie, 86 minutes.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, the whole
short as fuck.
second and third act start. Well, the second act starts at like 47 minutes. The whole first of the 47 minutes or whatever is all party stuff. Like,
It can't
that's
be
how
that
long.
Really?
It's
having
pretty
a
long.
good time and all that kind of stuff. But the part that I started going like, oh, whoa, this is kind of mind blowing, is when they're all reciting their 2-factor authentication thing. When well, mine had a ping pong paddle. Well, mine had a candle. Oh shit, mine had a coaster in it. And I'm like, oh my god, all these 6 or 7 people are from different worlds. Like, they're not even in the same worlds anymore. Like, what's going on? Who's supposed to go where?
The way they explained that with the roulette table, I thought was really cool.
I have a feeling that whoever walks through that is like they end up in the middle of a roulette wheel. And they will just end up somewhere by chance. And whoever walks through there will not return to the house that they just left.
I thought
Don't
that was
worry,
pretty cool.
you're gonna have the same shirt on when you get there. It's okay.
Well,
a dick.
and you know what I thought was I think the coolest part of the movie was actually at the very end when M was walking in between all of these realities.
Yes, I really like that scene. They did that really well.
And like looking at everybody's party, one was like they're all against each other. I think two of the guys were like tied up in chairs.
It was two mics. It was two of the same people.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so it's like they captured two of them.
Somebody else.
If I remember right.
I didn't realize it was two mics. I thought it was Mike
if I'm remembering right.
and somebody else.
Yeah.
No, it was two mics tied up in a chair. Because the one mic had busted in. Because remember we saw that one scene where Mike had busted in to attack the other mic.
Yeah.
In that world that she goes to,
they caught them both.
They caught them both, and they were like, "You're not the real Mike," and they tied him fucking up. Apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she finds and then she finds her I guess the one that she wants to stay in.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh, look at everybody's so happy, but I gotta kill my other self over here because she's gotta go, and and then she becomes this co-serial killer type thing, like killing yourself, which is really strange. It's like
it's just
that's
your
not supposed to
doppelganger.
happen, I guess. But if you see yourself, it's like Back to the Future rules. If you see yourself, you're gonna mess some shit up, butterfly effect or whatever. But
well, I think it was her. Okay, so two things real fast. One, you said 47 minutes for Act 2, Justin, but I was looking real fast, and they start flipping out around 20 minutes.
Right.
Around 20 minutes is whenever the lights go out and Amir and Hugh head down to the other house.
Yeah, I was saying when they all go to as a group to the other house is around 45-ish, 40 minutes, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. The second thing, though, what Kyle was just talking about with M killing off her other M. Remember the story that she told sitting at the dinner table at the beginning of the woman who killed her husband?
Yeah.
And the guy who was there, she's like, couldn't be him because I killed him yesterday.
Right.
I think that's what she was trying to play out.
Yes.
So it was the notion not so much of getting caught, but that she could replace another M the same way that guy had replaced the dead husband. I think that's what we're seeing there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did. I mean, I'm not really sure how I felt about the whole, like, I thought they were going to do a cop out and have her wake up and it totally be like just a dream.
I'm glad they didn't.
I'm glad they didn't either, because when she went outside, obviously, I think it was Beth was taking a shower, and I'm like, well, okay, so the other M is somehow gone. Does this comet passing over just make everybody that was dead or something like that just disappear? It's like a video game, all the dead bodies just disappear. But the twist at the very end, obviously, is when Kevin is on the phone and he's like, well, it's you calling, type thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's strange. But I don't know how I felt about it.
Making all the dead bodies disappear, by the way, is basically what happened, because they went from being coherent, like knowing, like having all the lines be tied together to where they could go in between all these different worlds, to it being broken apart again. So her world still exists somewhere out there. It just doesn't exist. It's not connected. So for all intents and purposes, it doesn't exist anymore because she has no way to get there.
Right, but there's now two M's in
now
this
there's
world
two
that
M's
she's
in that world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same as wherever they had those two mics tied up. There's probably three mics in that world, which has got to be fucking trippy. You know what I mean?
They're like, oh my God, Beth, what did you give us?
Yeah, exactly.
What a trippy night.
Yeah.
I see three Bens or three Hughes over here.
Yeah, the ending of the movie, you said you don't know how you feel about it. I kind of agree with you. Like, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. Like, it's kind of interesting because you think she's going to be the hero. Like, you think she's going to, get away or go and find this other world and maybe find a world where she just doesn't exist or she's happy and the other one will move.
Happily ever after with Kevin that actually cares about her.
Yeah, and instead she goes and becomes a killer, or tries to become a killer anyway, and replace her other self. And I don't know, it's an interesting, weird, ambiguous ending in a lot of ways. I don't hate it, but I'm kind of like, fuck, that's kind of trippy in and of itself. Like,
True.
what happens next? Coherence
Yeah.
2, the revenge.
I'm kind of
The
with you
revenge
guys.
of the second M.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. I'm not too pleased with the ending, but I've been thinking about it, and I don't know how else I would have done it though. Like,
Yeah.
That isn't super cliche.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Because this is definitely not a cliche movie. I mean, the way they did it, I don't think it's cliche at all. I think it's fucking. It stands alone pretty well in my mind. I can't think of another movie like it.
I mean, the budget for this movie was $50,000.
Fuck me, seriously.
Yeah.
There's all your costuming, John. That's all they didn't have any money for costumes. No
that
tripods and no
tripod.
costumes.
Yeah, save the money in tripods. That's another 50 grand.
They were like, shit. We don't even have ping pong paddles. Can we borrow one? Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have an art department or a prop department.
Right.
But yeah, gross worldwide, they actually made their money back. It was $139,000 they made back. So
not bad for a movie
they
no one's ever
they
heard of.
doubled their money, so that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so $50,000 to 140.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone that's even heard of this movie though. Like it's
I have
very
never heard
few
of
and
it.
far between. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
I
is
mean,
my
it's
second
kind of hard
watch.
to. It's kind of hard to get this out there just because I mean I don't think it has a whole lot of backing. I mean this
Yeah.
is the only thing that you would I forgot what like during the trailer I watched I don't know what film groups that it was in, like Sundance or Con or anything like that, but that's probably the only reason why you would know about it is if you are in the know for independent films or something. But
Well, Eddie, since this was your movie, why don't you go ahead and score Coherence?
Okay, so to start out, I do agree with you guys on the shaky camera situation. I mean, I don't mind stuff like that, but I do see it. I mean, when I say I don't mind it, let me say that. Let me clarify that. I do mind it in movies that are, especially that have a budget, that are big budget movies. It bothers the fuck out of me if it's not for a reason. Like I didn't mind Cloverfield, right? Like shaky camera thing. I don't mind that, but I know people who it physically made ill. So
Yeah.
I don't think about it in that way. Whenever there's zero reason for it, like there is during the dinner party, I don't like it. I'm kind of like, it's not great. The latter part of the movie, I definitely do like it. So I think we're pretty close to an agreement on that. I don't think there's a score to this movie. If there is, it's like Dune. It's just got like high pitched noises throughout the movie. That's all I can think of is like tense noises that were made whenever they were faced with their own versions of themselves in the road and stuff like that. I like the acting personally. The thing I like about the acting in particular is that these are not known actors. So for me, Hugh was Hugh. Like I felt like I was literally watching a dinner party for these assholes who I would never hang out with, but they sold me on who they were easily because I don't know them. Does that make sense? Like it's I don't know. It's easier if had they had the budget for Tom Cruise and they stuck Tom Cruise in this, the movie's fucking ruined for me. Like I don't want to see Tom Cruise in these characters.
what's kind of interesting is they kind of have the same names. Like Elizabeth is Beth, Hugo
Yeah.
Armstrong is Hugh. Like so, M is
They kept
Emily.
it simple.
They kept it
Yeah.
simple, so they actually used some version of their full or their real name, which is
And they
kinda
probably made
interesting.
it easier for ad libbing.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
that was probably an improvised thing to do, technique. So you don't
Yeah.
get called
Yeah.
the wrong
I mean-
name accidentally.
I mean, to me, this is like the best version of a student film, right? Like it's just like somebody who's in their fourth year has really spent the time, really studied. They've worked on their writing, they've worked on their directing, etc. I like it from that perspective. Rewatchability, which is what Kyle or Justin, always goes back to. I've seen this movie a shit ton. Like I like this movie. I don't know. It for some reason it sticks with me.
But you
So
watch
for
movies
me,
you don't like. You watch movies you don't like a lot. So, so there's that.
Like
too.
what? Which movies don't I like that I've seen a lot? I'm sure I've said it, but I can't think of
Johnny
anything right off the top of my
Dangerously?
head.
Yeah, I
I
watched
have
that
not
like
seen Johnny
6,000
Dangerously a
times.
lot.
Forced
No.
myself. It's like I gotta like this
I've
movie.
watched this movie like 35 times in my
That movie
over
goes
the
through-
years.
that
I'm
movie
gonna
goes
give it
through
a.
You're gonna have two.
That movie goes through schools. I'm good. So
Oh, Jesus.
for me, Coherence gets a 6.7 because
Wow.
I like most of the movie. There's things that I really like the way they unpack the movie. I just like the way they did that. I think it was really creative in the way they did that. So that was the main reason I like it.
So if you're a new listener, Eddie just gave
That's like a 10.
something over a 4. This is unprecedented. This is
mark the calendar.
Mark the calendar.
There's a lot of movies I've given over that score.
6.7 for Eddie. Okay, well, Kyle, you're next.
Yeah. If the first half was on a tripod, this movie would definitely get a higher score for me. Making conversations like very, very boring conversations, and knowing now that they're all pretty much improv conversations, look like an action movie, like from The Matrix. No, I can't do that.
From
but
Matrix.
Yeah,
you're so full of shit.
What do you mean?
You are so listen. All respect in the world, you're full of shit right now with that.
Why?
That's all I'm just
it to me. I get it. I felt overwhelmed with all the people talking and the information.
Okay.
Like I'm going.
Listen.
Yeah,
Listen.
Dodging bullets,
dodging dialogue,
Since-
dodging exposition.
Listen. And since I got time checked in which one was it? You time checked me, Lamb, I think it was.
Oh
Justin?
gosh, you found out.
22 minutes.
Oh, I told him.
You guys keep saying
I know.
first half. By the time they hit, I think it's like 18, 19, 20 minutes, roughly in there, the blackout's already happened and they're already stressed out, and Amir and Hugh are getting ready to leave. Like, that's 20 minutes. It's not halfway.
I thought that this was actually going to be a quick movie. I mean, a movie that's under an hour and a half by like a couple of minutes. I thought this thing was going to be wrapped up, bing bang boom, done. And I was gonna be like, okay, well that was cool. It's not gonna be a huge waste of my time. But I would say probably about halfway, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I still have the other half. Oh, okay. How are they gonna wrap this up? This is gonna be interesting. But yeah, I would say the second half, if they make it into a short, I think this director needs to go back to what he's used to, and that's short films. This movie could have been wrapped up in probably about 60 minutes. If it was 60 minutes, I would have been like, cool, good job, dude. But those extra 30 were killer. I agree with Eddie. I did like the acting in some cases. Some of the actors that were nobodies, they really shined. The only person that had somewhat of a strong acting career, that's very loosely, is Murray Sterling, or no, Nicholas Brendan. He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's pretty much it.
Not Roswell.
Yeah.
Not Roswell.
Yeah, not Roswell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he started saying Roswell, I was like, really?
I know, I did too. I'm like,
no.
wait a second, I don't remember you in Roswell.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's funny.
I think I'm going to give this a 4.7.
Okay, a 4.7 for Kyle. John?
Okay, I'm going to start this off by saying, remember, 20 minutes in, I fell asleep. And I rewound it, and I had to watch it. I did watch it. I ended up finishing it. And I did feel overwhelmed with the dialogue at the beginning. It's not a movie that I particularly want to watch again, or again and again and again, like Eddie. But I think I'm going to have to watch it again in order to pick up on everything and completely understand it. Because I missed a lot of those subtle things. I don't think the character development to me was I don't think they had enough of it. I didn't catch the when character Amir A was in the house B, I didn't get his different attitude there and things like that. I just didn't I didn't catch it from people.
Can I pause you on that for 1 second? Because I said earlier in the show. No. I said earlier in the show I was going to talk about this one piece, and I completely skipped over it. When Amir and Hugh show back up with the box, and then they go out and they get the book. Amir and Hugh, when they're talking about like decoherence and Schrodinger's cat and all that stuff, both of them are like on the same wavelength. And to my knowledge, Amir is not a quantum physicist, but for some reason he knows that shit.
Amir
without having read
knew
book.
the plot line.
I agree with you, yes, but everybody else in that house at that time seemed dumber, and
Yeah.
that Amir and Hugh seemed much more intelligent. And I wonder if that was part of the whole, like, in that universe that they're from, they're just a little smarter than we are. You know what I
Well,
mean?
as
So I
someone
just
who's
wanted to
only
say
seen
that.
it
Sorry.
the one time, I
Yeah,
did not
yeah.
pick up on that.
I got you.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I just think they could have done that character development better. And I'm gonna say it again: the force that ultimately gets this thing going is I gotta call my brother and tell him that weird things are happening. I don't buy it. I just don't. I just don't buy it. Maybe it's me just being disconnected from emotionally from a sibling. I guess I just don't get it. I do kind of like the found footage aspect of the film, where the camera is an observer of the chaos, not a found footage type, but the camera is actually like, I'm here, I'm sitting in the middle of this. But you got to watch your white balancing and your angles and your camera work, and your reliance on natural lighting, especially in scenes outside of the house that were really dark.
Yeah.
You can't see anything, and I wasn't immersed more into the film. I was more distracted. I do like that it made me think, but I did not. I've seen some other critics say, yeah, I started trying to figure out the movie and all this stuff. No, I was confused because I was too damn busy trying to get information from 6 people talking at the same time. So I
Yeah.
think it just needed to be tightened up a little bit more. I think the last third of the movie was really good. I think it explained things pretty well. Ultimately, I think the last 5 minutes could have been a little different, maybe more something along the line of Identity. Maybe the ending of something similar to where the ending of Identity. That might have worked better. But I think I will give this film a 5.2.
Okay, so a 5.2 for John. So I'll be quick. This is my second time watching it. One thing that I was really curious about going into this for my second time is, since I know the ending, does that change the movie at all? Does it make it interesting or whatever? I don't think it did. I wasn't surprised by anything. I didn't catch anything except well, yeah, I can't remember anything that I caught differently. I like the second half of the movie. It's really fun to me. I really, like Eddie said, I like the way the mystery builds over the course of the movie. And like Kyle mentioned, that scene where she's going through and she's looking through all the different houses. I really like the way they did that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give this a 6.5. I think.
Okay.
So with that means that it gets a 5.8.
Nice.
So we need to roll to see what genre we are going to be picking for next week's movie.
Okay, here we go.
Drama. Nice.
Now,
Who's it gonna be?
all right, here we go.
Oh man.
Oh, a double Eddie.
Yeah, I remember a lot of comments from the last this last episode we did, and I think it's gonna help me make decisions on my movie. I really appreciate that, guys.
Yay! Here comes another 2 for me.
You dick. So we're gonna go with Quadrophenia from 1979.
You want to spell that? No.
Quadrophenia is about Jimmy, who loathes his job and parents. He seeks solace with his mod clique, scooter riding, and drugs, only to be disappointed.
Okay.
Cool.
And it's set to the soundtrack of The Who, by the way, Kyle.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's 2
It's like
points.
a rock opera.
Oh, rock opera? Is it really?
Without singing per se, but yeah, it's like a rock opera.
Okay, so Quadrophenia.
Quadrophenia.
What year was it?
1979.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching the show. Meet us back here on Saturday, and we're going to be reviewing Quadrophenia from 1979. If you can go to justwatch.com, you can look it up and find all the places where it's streaming or available for rent if you haven't seen the movie or not. So, thanks guys for listening, and we'll see you next Saturday.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Later.